So for our community spotlight today, it is my pleasure to welcome Joanne Linerud this morning. Welcome, Joanne. Joanne is the local Association of Frontotemporal Dementia Ambassador for the states of Washington and Idaho, and she has personal experience as a caregiver and dementia advocate for families living with FTD. She's been a volunteer with AFTD for the past 10 years, and she loves sharing her own story. Her mother passed away 10 years ago from FTD and ALS, and she is now the primary caregiver for her father, who is living with mixed dementia. So, as a family caregiver, volunteer, and advocate, Joanne, we welcome you to share some more information with us this morning.
Thank you so much. I'm going to replace the current share and try sharing my screen.
Perfect.
Is that fine? Okay.
It is.
And we'll get this started here. Okay. Can everybody see my screen? Do I look okay, we're great. Oh, awesome. Thank you so much to the Learn community for this opportunity and for your interest in FTD education. And thank you to each of you who've taken time this morning to come and attend this program. FTD is often misunderstood and not always recognized, even within the healthcare community, although this is starting to change from presentations and meetings and everybody sharing their stories just like this. At the AFTD, we work to increase awareness of FTD, promote earlier diagnosis and quality care for all, advocate for federal and state support, and we lead research efforts to confirm FTD treatments and a cure. By the end of the presentation today, you will be able to understand the differences between FTD and other dementias like Alzheimer's, understand common symptoms of FTD, and understand how to access the resources available through our organization. My story is similar to other families who are impacted by FTD, but each family has their own unique story. Let me tell you a little bit about mine. My mom, Sylvia, is the one in the bright blue shirt in the top picture. She died 10 years ago from FTD and ALS caused by one of the gene mutations or repeat expansions not working correctly. Since she had a genetic form of FTD, that means all of her kids and grandkids are at risk for developing FTD someday. Last year, my sister and I both found out that we also carry this gene. My other two siblings have not tested yet. We currently do not have symptoms, but it's a race against time to find a cure to stop this disease from affecting future generations of my family. The second picture on the bottom is of my family. It's my husband and I, and we have four kids, two daughters-in-law, and a beautiful 3.5-year-old granddaughter. That picture is outdated. I promise she's cute. Each of the people in these photos is the reason that I will continue sharing my story. They are the reason that I will keep fighting for a cure and sharing information so others do not have to face this disease alone. Many people think of dementia as a memory problem or a disease that only affects older adults, but that is just not true. Dementia can be thought of as an umbrella term. It's not a specific disease, but can be caused by a number of diseases or conditions. There are numerous causes of dementia, but some of the most common are Alzheimer's disease, Lewy body dementia, frontotemporal degeneration or FTD, and vascular dementia. Often families like my own right now are dealing with what people call mixed dementia. This usually occurs when dementia is caused by more than one type of disease. The signs, symptoms, causes, ages of onset, and prognosis differ based on the specific disease. How a particular dementia progresses is also different for each person. Frontotemporal degeneration, or FTD, is a type of dementia caused by a family or spectrum of related diseases or disorders. Symptoms typically begin between the ages of 45 and 65, although the age of onset can range anywhere from 21 to 80. FTD is the leading cause of dementia for people under the age of 60. And genetic causation is found in approximately 20% of people diagnosed with FTD. The AFTD recommends that all people diagnosed with FTD should be offered both genetic counseling and genetic testing to determine if their cause is caused by a genetic change. FTD initially presents different symptoms depending on where the disease starts in the brain. The most common early symptoms impact behavior and personality, or communication or movement. Unfortunately, it can take about 3.6 years on average to receive an accurate FTD diagnosis. People are often misdiagnosed with depression, bipolar disorder, Alzheimer's disease, or other diseases before being diagnosed with FTD. Because of the typical younger onset of FTD, many people with FTD or their care partners might still be working with their medical insurance tied directly to employment. They may still be paying off a mortgage or other loans. They may be saving for retirement or paying for college for their children, or they may even still have children at home. All of these typical midlife activities can be turned upside down by the onset of FTD symptoms and ultimately by an FTD diagnosis. There are three main symptomatic or clinical presentations of FTD. Initial changes typically are seen in one of these areas: personality and behavior changes, communication and language change, or movement and motor skills change. Behavioral variant FTD, or BV-FTD, is the most common type of FTD. About 50% of those with FTD are diagnosed with BV-FTD. The defining symptoms include noticeable changes in a person's behavior or personality, and these symptoms would then be what we would consider marked contrast to their previous behavior or personality. Primary progressive aphasia, or PPA, is the next most common FTD disorder. The initial primary symptoms are problems with speaking, reading, writing, or understanding language. Cortical basal syndrome, or progressive supranuclear palsy, are FTD disorders that initially impact aspects of movement. And FTD, or ALS, which is what my mom had, is diagnosed when a person has both FTD and ALS. Although ALS is a separate disease from FTD, unfortunately, sometimes a person can develop both conditions. This is often due to an inherited genetic variant which causes both diseases and changes at a cellular level. A clinical diagnosis of probable FTD can be made by a neurospecialist like a neurologist or a neuropsychologist. This diagnosis is usually made by a combination of imaging studies, neuropsychological testing, and a clinical evaluation of symptoms. But we desperately need better biomarkers for quickly and accurately diagnosing FTD. In order to be diagnosed with behavioral variant FTD, 3 out of the 6 following symptoms must be present: apathy, disinhibited behavior, a loss of empathy toward others, executive dysfunction or problems with planning or completing multi-step tasks, compulsive behavior, and hyperorality. We also sometimes see a stark change in a person's diet where they begin only focusing on sweets or certain types of foods. A confirmatory brain scan showing related deterioration in certain parts of the brain can also be used to accurately diagnose FTD. Primary progressive aphasia is first identified by changes in word finding, understanding sentence formation, and order. Muscle weakness is seen in FTD and ALS, and muscle rigidity is seen in cortical basal syndrome and progressive supranuclear palsy. Although diagnosis is made primarily by the first presenting symptoms, individuals can experience any of these symptoms with differing severity throughout the course of the disease. A definitive diagnosis of FTD is currently only possible at an autopsy after death, or when someone has a probable FTD diagnosis, which is confirmed by a genetic test proving genetic causation. There is hope with current research and research participation. There are a number of actively recruiting FTD studies looking for participants today. At the same time, right now, there are no FDA-approved treatments that impact the FTD disease process or its specific symptoms. That means there is nothing proven yet that stops, slows, or reverses the brain changes in FTD. and there is nothing the FDA has approved to specifically treat the symptoms of FTD. There are off-label use of medications that can manage some symptoms. This means the use of medications to treat things like depression, anxiety, or compulsive behaviors that are used in the general population for other conditions may help with FTD symptoms. Caregivers and care partners can better manage behavioral symptoms by learning new dementia supportive approaches to respond, communicate with the person with FTD, and to provide care. Rehabilitative or specialty therapies like physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy can help with symptom management and promote safety and independence. Palliative care can also be a useful tool. Palliative care is specialized medical care for anyone facing serious illness, including FTD. The primary goal of this type of care is prevention of illness-related distress, whether physical, spiritual, or psychological, and their goal is to improve the quality of life by focusing on what matters to that person. To learn more about current FTD research, we invite you to go to the FTD registry at ftdregistry.org, and you can use the URL at the bottom of the screen as well. AFTD's mission is to improve the quality of life of people affected by FTD and drive research to a cure. We work every day to advance research, awareness, support, education, and advocacy. And everything the AFTD staff, board members, and volunteers do revolve around these 5 mission areas. We offer a variety of very helpful services to our community. AFTD's helpline is accessible to everyone, persons diagnosed, caregivers, friends, and healthcare professionals, to help answer questions, provide support and resources. You can call anytime and or email anytime, and a staff member will respond directly to you. We offer a number of informative newsletters and publications. You can register for these publications through our website to begin receiving newsletters or to order actual printed materials like our booklets. We have lots of different newsletters. One is called The Help and Hope, and it speaks directly to the needs and interests of our FTD families. Another helpful newsletter is called Partners in FTD Care, and it informs and educates healthcare professionals on specific FTD disorders and symptoms, and the unique challenges and approaches to care. We offer a grant program. 3 specific ones are our respite grant, providing up to $500 for caregivers who are living with a loved one with FTD. We offer travel grants to help families attend our annual conference, and quality of life grants to help those diagnosed with FTD to access services or supports that will improve their quality of life. We have various support groups that are a lifeline for our families. We have support groups that are FTD affiliated support groups, and most of our support groups meet virtually, which allows us to have support groups who meet nationally. We have unique support groups that for people living with FTD and ALS, or maybe for parents who have children with FTD. We also have a group specifically for men who are caregivers for people living with FTD. We are also on social media. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram and other social media platforms. We also host an annual conference, and we just got done with it this year. It was about 2 weeks ago here in the Seattle area. Next year it will be in North Carolina, so mark your calendars for May of next year. And it is offered in both in person and virtually, and it is free for anyone to attend. There are numerous sessions, including up-to-date information on research and advocacy and care. Many of the presentations are from past conferences, and including this current one, are available on our website and our YouTube channel. These are just a few of the resources that we can provide, but there's more. You can check out the website or contact the helpline. We just encourage anyone who has been impacted by FTD to get involved, to share your information about your experience. We talked a lot about research already. We want people to be involved in research. Consider raising funds for AFTD's mission and join our volunteer network and become an advocate. I'd encourage you to use this QR code to access our website and to sign up for AFTD's newsletters, and to find more information about how we can help you in your positions where you are currently working. And now I have some time to answer any questions. I'll stop screen sharing so we don't have this big red screen in front of us.
Thank you so much, Joanne. I guess one question I would have is, what kind of engagement do you have from people in Idaho today?
So, yeah, that's a great question. So, the AFTD has a national office that lives in Pennsylvania. And unlike other organizations like the Alzheimer's Association, we don't have chapters in our individual states. And so they have a robust volunteer network with people like myself who are responsible for their states. So I actually live in Washington State, but I have connections to Northern Idaho. So I do Washington and Northern Idaho. We do not have a local ambassador who covers the rest of Idaho. But that being said, like today, I'm available to join and do presentations and meet with people. We have volunteers in Idaho who would be able to come and do information tables and those types of things. But we don't have an actual ambassador that covers the rest of the state of Idaho.